Manchester United 2, Leeds United 2. Very disappointing, man. Disappointed not to win the game and draw, but at the same time, with the fight shown, and the team spirit to come back and actually get something out of that game is a positive. I think the simple way of dissecting what happened today is we got shell-shocked with taking our eye off the ball very early on, and that's the bit that Ten Hag won't be happy about. Obviously, fresh off the reaction here at Old Trafford, I haven't heard anything from Ten Hag, but I'm pretty sure he will be saying we can't start a football match like that. You know, Leeds were absolutely on us. Bruno thought he had more time than he did at the byline, and they had some good interchanges, and in a flashbang it was 1-0, and I almost feel like that startled us. Then you say, you know what, the reaction though from going 1-0 down was actually very good. I thought we probed. I don't think we went into our shell. We come out of our shell. We started getting the ball down. Bruno was laying on chances. Garnacho was getting a lot of the ball. Sabitzer forces a save from Meslier, and Garnacho gets it cleared off the line when he rounds Meslier. So there were chances there to get back into the game, and it felt like we should have got back into the game before the half. But when you start a game like that, and apart from I think Leeds having that little header that kind of went back across goal and David De Gea kind of palmed it out. Wasn't off the line, but it was a little bit of a nervous moment. But other than that, in the first half, it was all us. And you kind of, at half-time going in, you felt, you know what? We went 1-0 down to a moment of a lapse of concentration, but the response was good. So you're thinking, right, Ten Hag's going to get into them and say, keep pressing, keep going. One thing about the first half that I didn't like was obviously the fact that Marcus Rashford obviously was on the right-hand side and just couldn't get into the game. And actually, that was a tale of the game that, for all that Anthony's received criticism about we want to see more, we want to see this, we want to see that, actually what hurt us today was that somebody couldn't take care of the right-hand side. Rashford was victim to it in the first half. And in the second half, he changed it because, you know, he put Garnacho onto the right and Rashford came out on the left to try and make something happen. And Garnacho's game wasn't really great on the right-hand side as well, and he was subsequently substituted. So just before I go on to the second half, actually, it was very interesting to see that actually a player in Anthony who, you know, we do want to see more from and we are expecting more from, and we're being patient with him, and he's doing a decent job at getting better. Remember, I've always said there's a certain level he won't go below, and it was almost like by having him not there, it kind of threw us out of sync a little bit because everything was going down the left. Garnacho, I thought, was bright. I think there's a reminder there of how raw he is. There's a reminder there of how long it's going to take him for us. Well, there's a reminder there for us to be patient with him. There's a reminder there of why Ten Hag is being very selective of when to play him and in what type of games to play him in. And I think the reason why he goes with him over Jadon Sancho is because I think he just thinks he's ahead of him fitness-wise, because it would have been perfect for Jadon Sancho to start tonight, but clearly the legs weren't quite there, and he obviously comes on in the second half, which I'll get to. So, yeah, to sum up the first half, I just thought that we got shell-shocked, you know, Bruno dilly-dallying on the ball, and I don't even think it was bad defending after that. Maybe, could we have closed down a little bit better? Could we have blocked the shot? Yeah, some little question marks over that, but sometimes you have to just say it was a good move by Leeds and they scored a good goal, you know, and we got shell-shocked. But the response from that was good, and arguably it should have been 1-1 by the break. But on to the second half now, and we did exactly what we did in the first half, which is concede early and take our eye off the ball, and another goal happens. This time via an own goal by Varane. And okay, own goals happen, but the prevention of the lead up to it. We came out second half. Leeds, again, just on us, moved the ball really quickly. We weren't getting out to players quick enough. They created the 2v1s on the left-hand side, little triangles to even manufacture the crossing opportunity. That's how I look at it. The own goals can happen, but are you stopping the supply line for even allowing Leeds to be in a position to get in that left-hand side channel to draw across? Because they started well in the second half. Again, they had a 5-minute spell in the beginning of the second half, a 5-minute spell in the beginning of the first half, and they've scored in those 2 moments. And other than that, they didn't offer anything. So at 2-0 down, you're worrying. You're panicking. Well, not panicking, but you're thinking, you know what? This is going to be a bad night at the office. The Old Trafford record's going to go. And can we find a way back into the game? And what changed the game was the substitutions. Ten Hag takes off Weghorst, he takes off Garnacho, he brings on Pellistri, and he brings on Sancho and puts Rashi up front. Bang, 2-1. Great goal from Rashford, great cross from Dalot. And I have to say, and this is the positive of what I saw, was the never say die attitude from the team. the never say die spirit that Erik ten Hag has instilled in these players to not give up. That would have been easy to capitulate. You know, we can't win every game. There are going to be blips along the road. There are going to be bumps along the road. There's going to be hurdles to get over. And we're not going to have everything our own way. Actually, what happened today is what's been happening in a lot of games, but we just weren't on the right end of the result in terms of not winning the game. But actually, if you think about it, again, what does it mean? It means the performance level done this. You know, beginning of the first half, the performance level was down there. Then it went back up before half time and we were playing well. Come out the second half, the performance level dips again and we're 2-0 down. Then what happened? We raised it and then we get 2 goals and nearly win the game. Performance level not consistent enough, concentration not there. But the signs of progression are still there. Of course they're still there. We're going in the right direction under Erik ten Hag and the players trust in it. And Erik ten Hag to continuously affect the game with limited resources is what's keeping us going. Midfield, I think we really struggled in there today. Fred, you know, it's no secret that he had a poor game today. Obviously playing with Sabitzer for the first time, you could tell that those two hadn't played together before. You can tell that those two were almost playing as individuals today because it was difficult. They haven't got the relationship together and I don't think they complemented each other well as a pairing. Obviously missing Casemiro massively, obviously missing Christian Eriksen, but what else could Ten Hag do? There's no Donny van de Beek, there's no Scott McTominay to even shake things up. So that's all we could do in that situation, but that did hurt us. That did hurt us. I'm not saying Leeds dominated us in midfield, but what we couldn't do in midfield was have that creativity, was have that level of control and that calmness, you know. And in the counter-attacks as well, when Leeds were getting a little bit of joy sometimes when they were breaking, we just didn't have that anchor. We just didn't have Casemiro. It's as simple as that. He's almost irreplaceable, isn't he? That's how important he is for us in this team. So I think Sabitzer did okay. I thought, you know, he got on the ball a little bit, could have scored today, unlucky not to. But sometimes looked a little bit leggy, a couple of players getting past him, but other times winning the ball back, some other nice little switches of play. I think he had a mixed game. I think he did okay. But like I said, Fred today, and Marcel mentioned it in his fan view, a lot of the key moments of the game were falling at Fred's feet. And Fred's been really good for us recently in that role of coming off the bench and shoring up the game. Now it's gone back to Fred's kind of the main man in there. You know, he's the engine room, and unfortunately for us, when Fred doesn't pull out a worldie, and kind of plays like that, it is detrimental to the team. Gave away a few passes. He's always going to be honest. He's always going to run his absolute nuts off and leave everything out on the pitch, not questioning his desire at all. But on the ball today, and he will know that, he just wasn't good enough today. But I have to commend the fight. The goal that Rashford scores is a fantastic header, and you just felt the place lift. You just knew that second goal was going to come, and these are the positives I want to talk about, because the whole place just lifted. It felt like comeback's on. We're going to come back. And I know the third goal didn't come and we didn't get the win, but then the second goal comes and Jadon Sancho gets onto the field as well, and he looks so bright as well, linking up with Luke Shaw. I thought Luke Shaw come alive when Sancho came over to that left-hand side. Little combinations, little 1-2s, little triangles. Sancho just being positive, taking players on, cutbacks to Fred, and obviously gets his and gets his goal as well from that left-hand side. So Jadon Sancho looking like he's ready to start to me, looking like he's ready to go again at Ellen Road. Tough game at Ellen Road. I said this game could be a banana skin. I thought it would win. I still thought, you know, when there's a team that doesn't have a manager, they can literally just have a free hit. Spoke to a couple of Leeds fans afterwards and they were saying they just didn't want to get 4-0'd. And he was like, you know what, actually we just scored a couple of goals, lucky goals. First one maybe wasn't lucky, but we scored 2 goals and we just sat back. They couldn't believe their luck. And now going to Ellen Road, they're going to believe they can beat Manchester United. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? We talk about new manager bounces. That was a no manager bounce. They've got 3 guys looking after him. One of them, Chris Armas, who was Ralph Rangnick's right-hand man last year. So a surreal set of events, really, when we all expected maybe a comfortable win tonight. But just, I think that is the reminder to this team. And this is why, and I'm not taking it back to, see, we're not in the title race and all that, but I'm just saying, this is why me personally, I'm just looking for us to stabilise and play game by game, because these little blips happen. We're going to get these little blips. There's always these little reminders that we're not quite there yet, and we don't have that squad depth, especially with key players missing. Today we had Anthony, Casemiro, Eriksen and Martial all out. They're 4 players that always start. 4 big players. Technically, Martial, you can say, is even a big player this year because of how unavailable he's been, but we're a better side when he plays. It's just that he's not fit, ever. So that's 4 big players, and Ten Hag, I think, again, helped us get something out of the game. He changed the game by making those substitutions. He saw that, you know what, Weghorst is a bit of a passenger. Garnacho's a bit of a passenger on the right-hand side. What do? I'm going to take him off, bring Pellistri and Sancho on, put Rashford through the middle, and bang, the goals come. So Erik ten Hag's ability to continue to impact the game from limited subs and limited squad depth is what's getting us through. We can't win them all. I thought the fight from the boys was fantastic. And at 2-2, I tell you what, Old Trafford was absolutely rocking. It felt like a third goal was going to come. It felt like the old days. And you know what, as a United fan, when you're in there and you're thinking, you know what, maybe, we didn't get the third goal, but the fight was still there. Should we be going 2 down to Leeds? No. Erik ten Hag will be really disappointed with that. But 2 lapses of concentration at the beginning of either half is what's cost us the 3 points today. Because essentially when the team kicked into gear, Leeds didn't really show much. But Ellen Road, tough game. Like I said, the place is going to be rocking. We've got Fred and Sabitzer in the midfield, and that is an issue. That's going to be an issue. But Ten Hag's got to find a way and get a reaction out of the boys. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Take care. Peace.